Let's get to know Aristotle. Aristotle's father was a court physician from whom he got his interest in biology and science in general. He was a renowned ancient Greek philosopher, scientist, and polymath. He was a student of Plato in the academy and went on to become the tutor of Alexander the Great. Aristotle made significant contributions to a wide range of fields, including philosophy, science, physics, anatomy, logic, ethics, politics, and more. He founded the Lyceum. He used peripatia instead of just sitting in one place. Aristotle would often teach his students while walking around. This was a way for him to keep the discussions dynamic and engaging. It's like having a conversation while going for a walk. Aristotle and students would go on excursions to explore the natural world, observing plants, animals, and other things to better understand how they work. Aristotle had its own version of a laboratory where he and his students could experiment, explore, and discover new knowledge about the world around them. Aristotle is often referred as the father of logic. He developed a formal system of logic that became known as formal syllogism. His work on logic laid the groundwork for later developments in the field of reasoning and argumentation. Some of the examples are all men are mortal, Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. All mammals are warm blooded, whales are mammals, therefore whales are warm blooded. Aristotle's works are the direct opposition to the Platonic philosophical tradition. He disagreed with his mentor Plato that knowledge is inborn or innate. He believed that we gain knowledge by experiencing things around us and learning from them. For him, knowledge comes from the sense and can be true in itself. Aristotle's idea is that knowledge is gained through our senses, things we see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. He believed that this sensory experience is how we understand the world around us. He thought that this knowledge gained from our senses can be accurate and true on its own. Our senses are like tools that help us discover truths around the world, and this knowledge is valid and reliable. For Aristotle, human beings are not the most important or central aspect of the universe. Instead, they are just one component of the larger cosmos. Human beings are just a small part of the grand scheme of the cosmos, which encompasses all of space, time, and existence. This perspective encourages humility and a broader respect and understanding of our place in the universe. Aristotle's ethical philosophy, found primarily in his work Nicomachean Ethics. This work has shaped the way we understand right and wrong in Christianity. Saint Thomas of Aquinas built upon Aristotle's ideas, combining them with the Bible and church teachings to create Christian ethics. Aristotle made significant contributions to the study of the natural world. He classified and categorized various species of animals and plants, and his observations laid the foundation for early biological studies. He dissected fish, insects, birds, mammals, and marine creatures, and named their parts. Aristotle believed that the ultimate aim or purpose of human life is to achieve happiness or eudaimonia. It suggests that people naturally strive to find happiness and contentment in their lives. To reach this is moderation or the avoidance of extremes, emphasizes the concept of balance. There is always wisdom in moderation, so strike the balance. It suggests that in order to attain happiness, one should avoid going to the extremes in their actions, behaviors, and desires. Instead, finding a middle ground or practicing moderation is recommended. Aristotle was also a pioneer in teaching people how to speak and write persuasively. This skill, known as rhetoric, is all about using language effectively could convince others. He investigated the tricks of persuasive communication like using speakers' credibility, emotions, and logical reasoning to get their point across. Aristotle's theory of the tripartite of the soul is an explanation of the different aspects or faculties that make up the human soul. He believed that the soul is not a single, indivisible entity, but rather a complex structure with distinct functions. Aristotle's tripartite soul consists of three interconnected parts: the rational soul, the spirited soul, and the appetitive soul. Aristotle believed that these three parts of our world are like a team. They all work together to make us who we are. He thought that the rational part should guide the other parts to help us live a balanced and good life. The first part is the vegetative soul. The vegetative soul is the direct beholder of life, dependency on nature, and to decay or the capacity to die. This soul is responsible for the essential processes of growth, nourishment, sexual identity, and reproduction. It keeps us alive, such as breathing, digestion, and the ability to reproduce. This part is all about our physical needs and desires, like wanting to consume or eat, drink when we are thirsty. The second part is the appetitive zone. This is where our emotions, sensations, and passions came from. It is what gives us the energy to feel strong emotions like courage, aggressiveness, anger, or excitement. It governs our bodily appetites and survival instincts, including sexual desires and the pursuit of pleasure, maximizing pleasure and avoidance of pain. This part of the soul is more closely related to our animal nature and is shared with other creatures. The third part is the rational soul. It encompasses our capacity for reason, logic, and contemplation. This is what helps us think, memorize, make decisions, exercise our freedom, choices, and learn new things. It is what makes us smart and able to figure things out. The rational soul is what sets human apart from other animals and allow us to engage in intellectual pursuits. Humans are made up of three parts: the rational, the appetitive, and the vegetative soul. Sometimes we can act a bit territorial, like we don't like someone sitting in our usual seat. This territorial feeling comes from our sensitive or appetitive soul, which we share with animals. It's like an instinct. But here's the rational part: we can decide not to get angry. We might realize that there are other seats available, so we don't have to be upset about someone taking our seat. It's like our thinking helps us overcome our animal like instincts. Consider another scenario. A patient has fallen into a coma. Despite being in this unconscious state, it is important to show respect for their life. This is because even though they are currently in a vegetative state, there is possibility that they could recover and return to rational state.